when I was that age, like but my parents and shit weren't really taking my illness seriously because they didn't really think, they thought I was like low key, they thought I was crazy. Well, they didn't treat me like I was crazy, but they would kind of dismiss it and be like, oh, it's nothing. Because I didn't really have any diagnosis. I hadn't seen any doctors yet. So whenever I was complaining that I was always in pain and shit, they were kind of like, you know, oh, this motherfucker's dramatic. Because I was complaining about pain since I was a little ass kid. They probably thought like, oh, he just is so used to doing that it's kind of something he does. And then eventually it got so bad that I was like throwing up every day, and they were like, oh shit, like this is a problem. And then, you know, we looked into it. Because I remember always telling my parents, I'm like, is it normal to never feel relaxed? And they were like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm like, you know how you lay down on the couch and you say you're relaxed and like you feel like comfy? Like, I have never felt comfortable ever. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, everything always kind of hurts. And they were like, what? Yeah. And that was kind of the discourse back and forth for a while. Okay. Now, in terms of my head pain, they always took the headache stuff seriously, but the body pain and other stuff, they didn't really take it that seriously. So then, like, come to find out, I got all these issues. So I was not moving mad. I was quite literally moving rationally. I was actually right. And I was like, stupid. Now you know how it fucking feels. But no, so yeah, I've never felt relaxed in my life. Well, unless I was on like morphine or something. But like, that's not me being relaxed. That's the medicine, you know? So yeah, you know, if you can have that feeling, you know, I don't know how you do that shit, but that's crazy. Like something always is moving, something's always aching, something always hurting. Do you feel comfortable right now? Fuck no. Literally, I had to drink like numbing medication for my throat because I have all these like canker sores and like acid damage in my like throat right now. My ears hurt because of it. It's triggering my neuralgia in my head and making that worse. My head hurts really bad. My eyes feel like they're about to pop out of my head and like they're kind of being squished and like there's some soap in them. My ears kind of feel like almost like I have a really bad ear infection and I'm like kind of dizzy. But that's like low-key me every day. So it's kind of like, you know, the only ish thing that's new is the ear pain and like the throat acid damage. That's not really new, but it's like it's very intermittent. So it's like I don't have it often, but it happens sometimes. You really should have skipped today, bro. I literally feel that way like every day. I'm so serious. So if I should have skipped today, I would have to never stream then. But yeah, it still hurts. It's just like I've been suffering my whole life. You know, I've felt like ass for like 16 years consistently. You know, prior to that, I was like doing okay because when you're a little kid, if you have like anatomical issues, they don't really affect you till you start growing, right? So like until I got to that point, I was kind of chilling. But yeah, I don't know. The thing with chronic pain, I don't know if anyone here has it. The way it kind of works is like, it's like you only have so much mental fortitude and energy for like doing so many things in a day. And you have to pick and choose. And you can, if you have the mental energy to push through something, you can. But like there's definitely a limit. Like I have like a fine like line of like, this pain is too bad to do anything right now. That like if I hit that, I won't do shit. But like prior to that, it's kind of a mental game where it's like, do I have enough mental fortitude and energy to push through this task? And if the answer is yes, I will do it, or I will try to do it. Mental energy on an all-time low. Well, I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's not really mental energy. It's like, it is kind of mental energy. It's like kind of like a mind over matter in the extent that like, okay, your pain isn't any better or worse, but it's like, how willing are you to push through this? Because like if you get used to it over time, you can kind of pick and choose like, hey, I'm gonna push through this right now, and you can do it. Obviously, the first few years when my health was bad, I could not push through shit. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was a mess. I was angry all the time. I would pop off and snap at people all the time. I was super. You think I'm mad now? Oh my god, bro. I never had anger problems until I swear to God, this health chick popped up, and then it was terrible. Now I don't really have. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really get actually angry. I just like get mildly irritated and then express it very overtly and loudly because it's content. Oh my god, bro. I've been wanting to drop out of school since middle school, man. Middle school, bro. In middle school, I wanted out. I wanted out that bitch. I wanted out that bitch. I really was trying to drop out of middle school. I'm so dead ass. And then like you legally can't do that. So push through. And then when I was in high school, I was like, I want to drop out again. And then they were like, my parents were like, no, stupid, you're like literally gonna be fucked if you drop out of high school. And I was like, damn, our middle schoolers want to drop. Okay, well, I didn't want to drop because I didn't want to go to school. It was because I was like in and out the hospital so much that I missed like 80% of classes, and then they expected me to somehow like figure this shit out. And then in high school it was the same thing. In high school though, it got really bad. I remember I missed like 9 months of school in a row, and then I was kind of like, then we had to get this like all these like legal documents and shit to like figure out a way that I could like go to school from home but like not be homeschooled by my parents, because my parents couldn't do that. I don't know, it was a lot. And then they have like a sick kid program for like kids that are like very like ill. So I got into that, and then yeah, I kind of taught myself everything. And then like I did that for like most of high school. And then 1 year in high school I missed like a whole, I was on the home program thing when you kind of go at your own pace, but I was so behind that like I literally was like, had to finish the second semester of school in a month. And I'm telling you guys, I literally studied while shitting, bro. I studied while eating. I studied in the car. I woke up, studied in the morning. I was literally doing schoolwork. I was literally, I'm so serious, I would study 3 units for one subject the night and day before, take 2 tests and 2 quizzes per those units, okay, for every subject every day for a month. I don't know how the fuck I did that. If I had to do that again, I would just, low-key, I'm picking death. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know how the living fuck I willed that shit out, okay? The amount of willpower I had was crazy, okay? And after that summer, I did nothing. I did fuck all. I didn't even really leave my room. I slept. I was burnt out of life, bro. I was so tired. I literally played Final Fantasy like all day. I did not do shit the next 3 months after that. Not anything. I like used up all my energy. So that kind of showed me that I can kind of do whatever I need to if I like really need to. And the reason I did that is like, it was either that or I had to redo the year. And at that point, I felt like I had already suffered through so much in the first semester. I didn't want to have to redo the whole thing and redo the whole first semester, because I wanted out of fucking school. I wanted to be done with high school, because high school is miserable for me because of my pain. So I was like, fuck it. I either have to redo a whole year and then be in high school for a year longer, or I can just like, you know, thug this shit out and then I am out of high school sooner and have to do schooling for less. So if you can show that you're actually trying and you're kind to the teachers, they will give you a break 99.9% of the time. And me always being on top of them and emailing them all the time was like it like really showed them that like I was responsible for all my own stuff. I really knew what I was talking about. I would go in class the next day. I would show up in person. Hey, you know, can I collect the work I didn't do? Beginning of class, before class started, before the bell rang and class officially started, I would get there a little bit early every period. Like, I'm just saying. So yeah, that's why I learned, you know, sucking the fart out of your teacher's ass in school if you're chronically ill is the move. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? Listen, if you got an illness and you struggling in school or even work, just show that you care and really show that you're responsible, and they will like cut you a break most of the time. In work is a bit different, because if you're losing them money, okay, well, yeah, you're kind of fucked. But you know what I mean. I also just like hated the school anyways, because one time I went, okay, listen, I was chronically ill, right? I would go to the nurse's office to have them like take me home from school quite often, like literally quite often, because I wasn't feeling good. And the thing is, like, the nurse, you can tell them, oh, I have this symptom, this, and they'll be like, okay, let's give you an ice pack and some Tylenol. And they would have to call your mom to give you Tylenol too, but you know, that's besides the point. And then like they'd act like you were okay. So I decided, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna go to the nurse's office and just call my mom on my own cell phone and be like, yo, pick me up, I feel like shit. And then my mom would come as I was in the nurse's office and pick me up and check me out and be like, he doesn't feel good. And one point they knew I was doing that, because every time I go to the nurse I would do that. And literally everyone in the front office like pretty much like came into the room. It was like, you need to stop doing this, like, you know, it's not normal for everyone, for you to need to get picked up every time you don't feel good. And I was like, they were pretty much making me feel like I was like bugging the fuck out. And I like they kind of like all almost picked on me in a way for being like, you're never gonna graduate if you keep behaving this way. Like I was pretending to be sick. And I was like, bitch, I feel like shit every day, okay? All the other students you see, they check in here for like some little pain. I feel that every day, okay? That's just normal to me. So if I'm here calling my mom, it means it's very bad. But worse than you could understand, Linda, okay? You know, if you ever get stabbed in both your eyes with a fork and then someone like bangs your head against the wall until you're super dizzy and then is like, oh yeah, solve this calculus equation. Let me know how that would feel. Let me know how that would feel, Linda. I would really like to know, because maybe when you know, experience that, you would understand a little bit more what the fuck I mean when I say I need to go home. So when that started happening, I never went to the nurse again when I didn't feel good. And I just decided to fucking leave the school. I would just walk out that bitch, which was not allowed either. I would just leave. Walk out the door. Fuck it. Why am I gonna go to the nurse to have you guys bitch me out every time? No. Or I would have my mom literally just like sign me out of the front office, that like I had, like, you know how, because your parents can do that if you have a doctor's appointment or whatever. I would just have my mom do that and not go through the nurse, because I was so tired of it. And low-key, they had, you wanna know what's crazy? This is why I got away with a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie. In high school, the attendance lady at my high school was the same one at my middle school. She like switched from my high school to my middle school when I switched from high school to, or middle school to high school. So she already knew all my medical shit. So she would just like be like more lax on me than everyone else, because she already knew. So that definitely was a lucky thing. You know, that was a lucky thing. It was the same lady. So she was like, you need to sign this thing if you're gonna keep leaving school, but like, bro, like, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. And she really was just like, she was like, honestly, if you're not feeling good, you should just call your mom too. Like, don't fucking drive. Like, she was like, don't drive home if you feel that shitty. I was like, you are so right. Also, I got lucky too, because the principal, or the head of, like, I don't know if it was the principal or like one of the higher ups in the school that dealt with like the accommodation stuff, had a daughter who had like kind of similar issues to me. So like she understood more too. One of the nurses, oh my god, in middle school, which I understand why she was like this. Okay, low-key, if I was a middle school nurse, I would do the same thing. She was like kind of a bitch to me. And then once she saw my medical documentation and I got like doctor notes and stuff and like all this signed forms, so that like basically saying like this kid is not making this up, and like we presented that to the school because legally they have to like oblige by that. Then the nurse was so nice. Oh my god, it was crazy. It was like she did a 180. She was the most accommodating, caring lady on earth. I was like, what the fuck? I think she was so tired of people lying all the time that she just like treated me like shit because she thought I was lying like everyone else. I'm not gonna lie, if I was a school nurse for middle school students, I would probably be kind of like, you bullshitting half the time too. Because in middle school, I knew like hella kids that would just lie and go to the nurse. Hella kids that would do that shit. Hella. That's why I say, all you little middle school kids that would just fucking lie and go to the nurse for willy-nilly bullshit, you are the ones that fucked it up for the people with actual issues. I dead ass hate those people. Put it like this, if you weren't nerfed in health, you'd be too perfect. Low-key, I think that sometimes. No ego, but I'd be like, damn, if I wasn't nerfed, I wonder what I would be doing. Would I be a billionaire? Like, I don't know. Okay, billionaire is crazy. But would I be like a multi-millionaire or something? Like how successful would I be? Because like a smooth 70% of my time is spent just feeling like shit. So it's like, realistically, imagine if I had 70% more time to do what I already do. I would be insane. Shit. I low-key think if I wasn't sick, I do think I would. Okay, I think, if I were to get better in my current mental state of life and outlook on life, I think I would be uber successful. If I never had any health issues, I don't think I would be doing as much. Like, I realistically think I'd be doing the same amount as I did now, because I wouldn't feel the need to, right? Like, because I have the health problems now and I'm so used to exerting like 10 times as much effort to do anything, I think if suddenly those chains were removed, I would go crazy. But I think if I never had those issues, I don't think I would be driven enough to actually be as powerful as I would be if this shit disappeared overnight. Like, I think I'd be better off if I had these issues and they disappeared versus if I never had them in the first place. In terms of like, in terms of like being not nerfed by like, you know, circumstances. So I think because it allowed me to like learn about certain things in a way, and like I'm used to trying hard all the time, I think that work ethic and like motivation would get me further learning that now, versus if I never had those issues, I don't think I would have learned that, or I would have learned it way slower. So I do think there are like, ideally this shit will go away one day and then I'll be going crazy, but that never happens. I mean, I guess I'm going as crazy as I would have been if I didn't have health problems, you know? I remember one time I was speaking to like Enna about it, and she was like, realistically, bro, if you were like healthy, you would not be doing, you would be doing fuck all. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, look at how many friends I have that are healthy and they don't do shit. And I was like, you're so right, bestie. You are so right. She's like, you're only this crazy and driven because you had to be. So she's like, realistically, it'd be better for you if this shit disappears. But like, if you never had it, I don't know if you'd be as driven as you are now anyways. And I was kind of like, you're so right. You're so right. I mean, low-key, the world isn't designed for you either, but it's like, that's a different discussion. I mean, technically you are, you know, you can't even breathe without suffering. So, I mean, basically, like, the world not designed for you anyways, but, you know, you can still make the most of it. I'm not saying this to, you know, to make it seem like if you have a problem, there's no hope, but I'm just being realistic. Like, dead ass, the world ain't designed for you. So it's like, it's gonna be harder. Yeah, shout out to all my chronically ill people, you know, y'all going through it, and I wish the best for you, and I hope despite your circumstances you can still do what you want. It's a shadow you want. Yeah, like I hope you can still do what you want, and if you can't do what you want now, I hope eventually you'll get in a position where you'll be able to, because like, yeah, there are times where you really can't do what you want, and I know what that feels like. It's very disheartening. Like, oh, if only I didn't have this issue, I could do this. It's like, one, you will get better at managing those feelings and like actually doing stuff when you're not feeling well, and two, hopefully you'll get better treatment too. Like, you'll find a solution, you know? I mean, I still don't have a solution, but I do feel like I'm definitely better mentally about health related stuff than I was like 6 years ago, you know? Even if like realistically my condition has not improved much, I just think the way I know how to manage the feelings and the stress and, you know, operating with the pain, you get better at it. So yeah, the system is ass. Okay, guys, I don't think I should be the president, bro. This is the only issue I feel like I'm versed in, okay?